Welcome to the Fright Lab. I'm Lucas Yoakum, and this is the 13th entry. Yeah, the 13th entry into the 2025 31 Days of Halloween, 31 Days of Horror, 31 for 31 challenge, whatever you're calling it. Thank you once again for downloading or tuning into this episode. We're excited to talk about one of maybe the better received horror movies the last few years. That is 2023's Evil Dead Rise. So let's knock out the plot real quick. Evil Dead Rise takes the Evil Dead formula. You know, evil book, bad location, terror ensues, and applies it a little differently this time. A little differently than it's been applied before. Specifically, there's a young family living in a dilapidated apartment building over an old bank vault in Los Angeles. A wayward relative, a wayward sister, comes home to seek advice and solace. An earthquake strikes, the vault is opened, and a copy of the Demonto Natorum, Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon, whatever you're calling it these days, is discovered and unearthed. Naturally, recording of the evil text gets played, the demons are conjured. You know the Evil Dead thing. We talked about it some in the last episode with Evil Dead 2013. But Evil Dead Rise did really, really well with horror audiences. I know it was quite popular, and for good reason. Of the more modern Evil Dead extended universe stuff, you know, Ash versus the Evil Dead, the previous attempts at making video games around it, plus Evil Dead 2013, I think this might be the most popular and the most well-received. And for pretty good reasons. I mean, one, it's a great-looking movie. The scares are really effective. It's completely unhinged. It's dark. It's ugly. The ending is the ending is just great. It's so gross. And it avoids almost whole cloth the humor of the latter-day Bruce Campbell era Evil Dead stuff. It is a pure horror film. Same as 2013, maybe even like, I don't know if it's worse. It is, I think, a lot darker in a lot of regards, which is super cool as far as I'm concerned. But I want to pose a question. Rewatching any Evil Dead media has kind of made me ask this interesting question. What do the evil spirits of the Necronomicon get out of what they do? What are they trying to accomplish, and what do they gain from it? So follow me. I know this is going to be a weird one, especially in a short episode, but I want to talk this out for a minute and see what we come up with, right? Okay, so we, the audience, through the eyes of our protagonists, get 90-ish minutes of body horror, paranoia, chaos, demonic madness. It is chaos, front to back. The Kandarian demons get something, right? They're doing this for a reason. Is it enough to say that the reason is the thing, that the madness is the reason they do it? I mean, when you think about their MO, it is not enough that they kill their victims. They're always doing the most unnecessarily awful thing. Sure, they're monsters, they're foul spirits, they're demons, whatever you want to call them. It's part of the job description, right? And that means that Sam Raimi, the creator of the series, clearly the mad prophet of Kanda, you would think that he'd outline it at some point, right? Right? What is the theology of the Deadites? Now, I'm pretty glad ultimately that he's never explained, quote unquote, what it all means, but he's never explained what it all means. Like, they show up and do awful shit because they show up and do awful shit. Why do the spirits of the Necronomicon, the Natorum Demonto, why do they do what they do? You know, thinking about the family in this film that is going through it, they're going through a hard knock kind of life. They're very relatable in a way. I know families like these people, and we all do. We've all met people who are going through some of the life conflicts that they're all going through. And that makes the attack by the Kandarian demons, makes the awful things they do to this family so much more awful, so much harder to watch. It feels almost kind of cruel watching them get the Evil Dead treatment. And that's why I think it makes this movie so much darker than the 2013 film, which is, already dark enough, right? You get to know these characters a little bit well, and it's a little harder to hurt them for that reason, I guess. But okay, so we know that it's ugly and that it's dark and that it's mean, and we like these people and we don't want bad things to happen to them. But why are they doing it? Why are the demons doing what they're doing? And sure, they remind you like once a movie, I'll swallow your soul, I'll swallow your soul. Yeah, sure, that's great. And, we have to wonder, as this film is unfolding, are they going to be able to survive, or will they be dead by dawn? Well, it's a movie, probably not that big of a deal, but that doesn't answer the question of why the villains do that. Increasingly, I've been thinking more and more that maybe it is almost a Zen kind of an evil. It is a thing unto itself. You conjure them and they torture you, and not in the sort of seductive way that the Cenobites from the Hellraiser universe do. No, they're going to stick needles in your face and cut you up and torture your family members and wipe out everything you love and soak you in so much blood. Ugh, so much blood. I think on some level, the forces of the Kandarian demons thrive because of the horror they cause. They live off of it. It's almost a food source for them. Once they cross over into our dimension to do whatever it is they're designed to do, they do it to feed. I don't know that we're ever going to know the purpose of the Kandarian demons. They're a malicious force conjured by a book. Why was those conjurations written down? Seems to me like that's just a bad thing to do. If you find some ultimate set of words that undo all of reality and usher in these gore-soaked monsters, I don't know, maybe don't do that. I think they do what they do because it's how they feed, and the way they get the food that they want is by torturing the people around them. But that's just me, right? I could be wrong about that. It's perfectly headcanon at this point. And I think that's part of the reason why the Evil Dead series, and Evil Dead Rise especially, is so effective. It is, of the mainstream horror films, maybe the most extreme, and almost everything is on the table. Everyone is at risk. Almost everyone can die. Most people who are on screen in the movie won't make it to the other side of it. So, I do enjoy this movie, and that makes me want to ask, should you watch Evil Dead Rise this Halloween season? Well, to answer that question, I think you have to answer another question is, should you watch Evil Dead Rise in any other month? And I've got to level with you. I think you really have to love the Evil Dead, especially when it's not being comedic, when it's not being a kind of slapsticky horror comedy. This movie and Evil Dead 2013, though to a only slightly lesser degree, are totally removed from the latter-day Bruce Campbell films. And those films, as much as I enjoy them, I still love Evil Dead 2, and I still love Army of Darkness. They're basically extremely dark comedies. If you didn't enjoy Evil Dead 2013, or for that matter, like just the original The Evil Dead, or just kind of more extreme horror writ large, man, just steer clear of this movie, because you're not going to enjoy it, positive reviews or not. But if you are apparently a pervert like myself, this one's actually a great watch. It is a great horror movie. So friends, siblings, is something wrong with me? I mean, why do I enjoy these movies so much? I don't know. And what about you? Are you the same kind of monster as me? Did you enjoy Evil Dead Rise? And what's the most intense thing on your watch list this month? You can let us know by reaching out to us at thefrightlabpodcast@gmail.com. We can be found on most social media platforms. Just look for The Fright Lab. We're also on YouTube, and we do have a Discord server. Once again, just look for The Fright Lab. With that, friends, you need to go watch a scary movie tonight. So let's end it here. And remember, The Fright Lab is written and researched by me, Lucas Yoakum, and is produced and often co-hosted by the one and only Joseph Wren. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we will talk to you all again very soon. Go enjoy your October, okay?